hundreds of new jobs. In fact, Odoo will have to add at least 350 full-time employees by the end of 2028. So 70 new jobs for each of the next 5 years. In exchange, a state entity is selling 103,000 square feet of space to the company for just $1. See, the state purchased this property years ago as part of a Buffalo Billion program with IBM, which never met its goals. If Odoo doesn't meet the terms of this agreement, it would have to pay a hefty penalty, more than $20,000 for every job that doesn't get filled. This is exciting news for downtown, though, and joining us live right now is Garrett Strom, manager of direct sales for Odoo here in Western New York. Sir, we appreciate you taking some time for us here. I wonder if you can kind of walk us through how this deal came together, how you plan to meet those job goals, and 350 new high-tech positions downtown. Certainly good news.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Definitely excited to talk a little bit about Odoo and where we're heading. So, over the last couple of years, we came to Odoo in May of 2020. From there, we've seen a growth of 0 employees to now 175 new employees here in Buffalo. So super excited to see that growth move forward. We're looking to add, 350 jobs in the next 60 months or 5 years per se. And that's really what brought the deal together. For us, we really wanted to have our own footprint on the city. We want to call Buffalo home to our East Coast operations for a long time to come. With that growth and sustained growth and the talent pool that we've seen in Buffalo, we just thought that we can inject good energy onto Main Street and really kind of revive a tech scene here in Buffalo per se.
Yeah, I want to ask you more about that big picture in a moment. First, one of your colleagues, the guy who leads the local office there, told the Buffalo News that this is actually the first piece of real estate that you've purchased in North America, leasing space before, and it shows that you're, quote, anchoring in Buffalo. It is a big commitment, considering I was reading on your LinkedIn today as well. This started just in 2020 with, I don't know, I think one person in the office, right? Talk about how it's expanded to this point and how that feeds into what happens next.
Yeah. So to feed on your first point in terms of the first piece of property that we bought in North America, it's definitely a big feat for us at Odoo. In general, our other office in the United States is in San Francisco, and then we operate in other cities such as Mexico City and then across the globe, right? So a lot of these are big tech cities. They're expensive when it comes to real estate, right? Because they have a large number of companies that operate in them. So for us to be able to buy a piece of property in Buffalo is super important, especially making it affordable being in Buffalo. And that's kind of what made us want to grow our roots here as well, and definitely a good feat for us. But as far as the growth, yeah, definitely interesting. When I first started at Odoo as a sales rep, I actually walked in on the first day in Seneca One Tower into like an unfinished, essentially office space. I wasn't even sure if I took a real job. It seemed like definitely an interesting choice, but from there it was definitely real. We started with just a sales department here in Buffalo, and then over the last 3 years, growing from 0 employees to 175, we've been able to add other departments such as software engineers, support, services, marketing, you name it. So we've seen an expansion in headcount due to the need of our growing software platform and growing revenue. So to be able to support that in all aspects, in all different aspects of the business and departments is really where we've seen our growth. And we forecast that continuing, obviously, for the next 5 years with the huge commitment to Buffalo and the jobs needed to produce here in Buffalo as well.
Garrett, I did a story earlier this year with M&T at one of your colleagues there in Seneca One, a colleague company, when they opened their second tech hub. And the top executives were all saying that they really see downtown Buffalo, especially right there along Main Street, as this tech corridor, right? Extending all the way from Seneca One out to the medical campus. You'll be right in the heart of that with this expansion. What is it about Buffalo right now in this moment that makes something like that possible? Because it's it's an exciting prospect.
Yeah, for sure. We've definitely seen the tech space in general in Buffalo start to boom with this nice little ecosystem of larger companies like ourselves in M&T, and then the startup nature of different companies in Buffalo as well. I think really one of the things that we attested to is there's such a large talent pool here in Buffalo. Having access to, I think it's greater than 200,000 college students in the area from from here to, if you look into the Toronto area, and then even the southern tier where I went to school actually down at St. Bonaventure, shout out to them. But as far as this goes, having the access to a large talent pool and just the need and growth of tech in general, I think that's fed a lot into having it in Buffalo. And to be honest, the people of Buffalo are great, and we've seen a large fluctuation of people that want to get into tech, which has kind of driven this growth for headcount and companies in general.
Garrett, I've got less than a minute left, but I want to end here by asking you, 350 new positions. I imagine they'll be in various different departments and doing various jobs. But tell us a little bit about the talent pool that you'll be going out and seeking.
Yeah, so as we have right now, we're looking for existing positions in departments that we already have exist at Odoo, from sales to implementation of software, which is our services department. We're looking for software engineers, so people that were in computer science in college, right? Also looking at expanding into other departments as well, with growth in our marketing departments, looking at other sales channels inside of our current structure with the way that the company operates. So looking for a wide variety of skills, not just necessarily one skill set. But Odoo in general, one of the principles we pride ourselves on is we hire on potential and not necessarily what you did in the past. So we're looking for people that are hungry to get into tech, individuals that are looking to make that step. And we are looking at what they can do, not necessarily about what they have done in the past.
Garrett Strom is Manager of Direct Sales for Odoo here in Buffalo. Thanks so much for taking some time for us on what I'm sure is an exciting day in the office.
Absolutely. And just one last thing, we do, if you are interested in learning more about Odoo, free event at the Statler in Buffalo on November 30th. So we'll look to see a lot of the local region there. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much for your time, Garrett. Appreciate it.
Yep.